regular meeting of the Tamaqua Borough Council for Tuesday, January 17th. Please rise. We'll have the invocation led by Councilman Barrett and the Pledge of Allegiance led by Councilman Evans.
O God, from whom all power comes, by whose divine will all must abide, we thank you for our civil liberties and freedom, for our opportunities and our privileges. We beg of you to bless, assist, and enlighten our newly elected President-to-be. May he prove worthy of the confidence placed in him by his fellow citizens. May he be just and upright in his thinking, honest in all his actions, and ever be guided by a true conscience in all his policies. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Bowman.
Here.
Kara.
Here.
Conley. Evans.
Here.
Gursky.
Here.
Lasky. Mace.
Here. We'll have the reading of the minutes of the regular council meeting held on December 20th, 2016.
Move that the minutes be suspended.
Motion by Tom to accept the minutes as written. Is there a second? Second by Ron. Are there any questions from the council regarding the motion or from the floor? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Communication.
Okay, first is from Hans Schitten. It has come to my attention that there is an opening on the Board of Health Committee. I am interested in serving my community more and wish for your consideration in this station. References can be provided if desired. I thank you for your valued time.
It's the council's pleasure regarding Mr. Schindler's letter.
Anybody know?
I do. He goes to my church, but
Okay.
he's
Rosemary's on it also? I'll make a motion, we add him to the list on.
motion by Tom to appoint Hans Schitten to the vacancy in the Board of Health. Is there a second? Second by Ron. Any questions or comments from council regarding the motion or from the floor? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Next
I'll
is
give them a letter then.
Next is from Shirley L. Becker. I regret to inform you that I must resign from the Tamaqua Board of Health due to health reasons. It's been my pleasure serving on the board since 1968. I will always have fond memories of serving with such wonderful people. Thank you for this opportunity.
Unfortunately, 48 years of service with the Board of Health. I don't know if that's a record, but it's in the discussion. It's council's pleasure regarding the letter. Okay. Motion by Ron, by Tom to accept the letter. Second by Ron. Any questions or comments from council regarding the motion to accept her resignation?
Or thank her somehow.
Yep, absolutely. Any questions or comments from the floor regarding the motion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And again, just please send her a letter of thanks for her many years of service.
Next is from Sidetrack Tap Room, S. Durbin Wagner and Yolanda G. Wagner. On behalf of the owners of the Sidetrack Tap Room, formerly known as the Happy Ending, we are writing to request a special parking area in front of the building at 315 North Railroad Street. This space will be used as takeout parking and to load and unload deliveries only. The sign should read as such, or whatever you determine suitable to reserve such space. The owners of the building establishment will be responsible for the cost of the sign erection and or line painting on the street. Thank you for your consideration of this matter.
Motion by Mike to refer the request to the Parking and Traffic Committee. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ron. Any questions or comments from council regarding the motion or from the floor? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Let Carrie know since she's not here tonight. That's something that's under her committee. Thank you.
Lastly, I have a letter from Annette Ryan. I am writing in regards to the parking issues on Monoy Street. Many people either park too close to one another, and the police have to be called to make the neighbors move their vehicles, or they let a very large space in between cars, but not enough space for another car to fit. Also, when it snows, neighbors shovel the snow in between the cars. The more snow we get, the bigger the pile, taking more parking spaces away. It is very frustrating all around, especially when you are trying to park and the neighbors are yelling at you. We need a solution to this parking problem. Maybe one solution would be if lines were painted for the placement of the cars. I have attached pictures for you to see the many problems we are having. I hope you can come up with a solution to fix this problem. Thank you for your time. If you have any questions, you can contact her.
Another parking and traffic reference. Motion by Ron to refer Ms. Wayne's letter to parking and traffic. Second by Mike. Are there any questions or comments from council regarding the motion or from the floor? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
And that's all I have.
All right, thank you. Borough Manager report.
Yes, sir, thank you. I just have a few updates to give you. I guess first, the street light that we requested on Squatola Street on St. John the 23rd has been installed. Also, we're currently collecting Christmas trees throughout the community, and I just want to remind residents that when we put the trees out at the curb, that they be free from any decorations or lights or things of that nature. So we'll be collecting those through the month of January. People also have the option of dropping them off at our street parking garage if they choose that. We'll also be taking the Christmas decorations down in town very shortly. Some time ago, council voted to sell a variety of used equipment that we have. We prepared an ad which will appear in the papers soon. It's one of the requirements for the online auction, and Mary has been posting the equipment to the municipal website. So anyone interested in viewing or bidding on that equipment should go to municipal.com. The auction will open January 30th and close February 16th. Aside from that, I think that's pretty much all I have. I'd just like to ask the council to consider an executive session later on for property issues.
Can I make a comment on the light that we put up there by St. John the 23rd? I passed there the other day and it really brightens that half a block up the whole street, and it also shines light halfway up the iron steps. So it was a good placement there. The pole was already there, so it didn't take a lot of work to put the light up, but it's very effective.
If I might, on the online bidding process, professionally I was made aware of another online option called PenBid. I don't know if the borough has ever investigated that. I know it's being used by a lot of communities in the southeastern part of the state for water and wastewater projects, but it has applications beyond that. So the PEMN bid, and it might be something that you would want to take a look at as well. It's a very low-cost option. So, I'm sorry, did you have anything else then?
No, just that posting it on the electronic auction site doesn't cost us anything. The commission is paid by
The successful bidder. Okay.
But that's
a very similar arrangement then.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. If you have nothing further, then Director of Community Development.
Thank you. An update on the streetlights. That's moving faster than I had hoped, and we're supposed to get information on the make-ready work by the end of next week.
Oh.
So that will be moving along pretty fast. So more to come.
Yeah, there will be probably something that we'll have to do as far as the customer work side of it is concerned, but I think it's dependent on what the PPL side of it, because some of that may be incorporated into our part of it, but.
Right. It seemed as if our contact at PPL has been contacting us as he came across problem lights,
Mhm.
and there were only one or two of those, so.
The
we're
problem
hoping
lights
that's-
being ones that have to be moved because of clearances?
Yes,
Okay,
and there were easy solutions so far.
good.
Municipal we covered, there was some talk at the last meeting, which I did not attend, but I believe it was brought about ice skating, and that would be on hold until next winter. If we want to try that, the best place would be Dutch Hill, and the corner needs work, and that needs to be done in the spring, so more to come on that.
Would a liner be required up there then too, to put over the court or no?
Well, I talked to Matt Madiak about it, and he suggested we at least treat the surface, so we would want to do that.
Great.
So that's a
Okay.
good idea.
Okay, thank you.
The only other update I have is CDBG items are moving along, but I don't have anything that requires a motion yet. We're still waiting, and they promised this week that they would get back to us about the bathhouse decision, that we can use the funds to renovate instead of reconstruct.
Any update on the revolving loan, revolving fund loans?
As far as,
Additional collections or arrangements made, or
pretty much the same.
pretty much the same? Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Thank you for that. Chief of Police report.
Nothing to report, Mr. President.
Okay. Committee reports. Are there any?
Is there a certificate of appropriateness we need?
There was something that was approved, masonry activity on Front Street.
There's no home meeting
No.
this morning.
What? Park meeting for December. Okay.
Looks like that was approved, Tom.
Okay.
According to the, you're talking about the Barry Isaac report, looks to me like that was, yeah. Hearing no committee reports, mayor's report.
Real brief, I had a conversation with Scott Herring earlier this week. Some of you may know Scott. Scott's been a photographer throughout the Colton region. Scott is the chairman of the 250th anniversary of the anthracite region, which is coming up in 2018. Is that correct? And Scott's gonna have some more information, but they're really looking to promote it through the year of 2017. And one of the towns that they would like to do some promotion would certainly be in Tamaqua. And one of the things they're looking at is putting a sign on the south side of town recognizing the anniversary. So there'll be more information coming from Scott, looking to get approvals of the location and the sign to get at the south side. There was some talk about north side, east and west, but for right now, the two main ones that they're starting with is one in Shamokin and one in Tamaqua. So there'll be more to come from Scott. He did provide lots of information, which I did forward to Mary. We may see some of that show up on the website at some point. Yes, I know it's coming down the home stretch for him. He's excited, so there'll be lots of information coming on the 250th anniversary.
Okay.
Thank you, that's all I have.
All right, thank you. Is there anyone from the floor that wishes to address council? Mr. Shaw.
You all know me. I have one question. When are we gonna hire these cops?
Okay, we actually talked about that this evening. Right now, we're trying to put the final, we're trying to resolve the final details on the police contract for which would come into effect retroactive to the beginning of this year. And we want to hire new police officers under the new contract, not the old one. I was in the process before we got here tonight of scheduling a meeting between our committee and the union representatives sometime between now and our next meeting, which would be February 7th, I believe. We hope to have all of the I's dotted and T's crossed by that time so that we can approve the contract and then move right ahead towards hiring at least one officer.
One?
There's another issue that we have related to, what's the right way to refer to that, Mike?
Former officer.
Beg your pardon?
Former officer.
Well, former officer, but there's an arbitration that's involved that we have to clear before we can go beyond that.
Well, you as a borough council, and you as a chief, and you as a mayor, we need more than one cop. Remember that. Our streets are getting worse. They're not getting any better. We need more than one cop.
We have
And-
more than one now. We're talking
New
about
ones.
hiring additional.
New
Yes, no,
ones.
I know. We have budgeted for the new year for 2.
We need more full-time cops, because some of these cops out there can't do it.
Okay.
They're working way over their schedules.
Michelle, we have in the budget to hire 2 additional
Well,
full-time
I hope
officers
so.
this year.
I hope so.
Mhm.
And I will be at the next meeting to make sure.
Okay. And we already have the civil service part of it taken care of. The steps have been taken. We have one more hurdle to clear.
Okay? Thank you.
You're welcome. Are there anyone else from the floor wish to address council?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Of course, you know, I'm Tammy Sienkiewicz, live in Tamaqua. All of you got the flyer today. I hope all of you did. If somebody's missing one, please let us know. It's a National Day of Remembrance. We're having it at Bethany Church on January 29th at 7 p.m. It is a candlelight service. What we're having is friends and loved ones who lost somebody, but it's not just for that, it's for the whole town. What we talk about a lot is, yes, what we do in this town, like safer streets and step up, but without everybody's support, it means nothing, absolutely nothing. We've got to get more people on board. You know, I go have events, had a huge event at the high school we did. We had people come at night for an informative session. Just education. That's all it was for. Education, drug education to get educated. We had 18 of our closest friends show up. You can't say not my child or not my grandchild. My big question is, besides you, Chief, because I know you know this answer, how many of you could answer right now what a bag of heroin looks like? Really? If one of you can, let me know, because I didn't. Not too many people do. You have no reason to, because you don't do it yourself. But say your son or grandchild comes home from school, and it's laying there on the table. Would you know what it is? That's why this is so important. You know, I got to give a big thank you to Tamaqua Police Department. They gave a donation to us for the mock drug boards, because they know how important this is. Because they know if you have to be able to know what it is to identify it. So with these events that we have, we really hope to see more of you there and participate. You know, I know everybody says, I want to get this town, I want to make it safe, I want to make it better. But you're a big part of this town, you're council. If you're not there, why should other people believe we're going to do anything in this town? Thank you.
Thank you.
If I can just add to that, it would mean a lot to the families who are going to be at that memorial service if they looked out into the crowd and saw some council members, mayor, police, staff from the borough. It really would. These are people who've gone through hell, and while they're dealing with a loved one who's fighting addiction and then losing that loved one, they're also facing a community that often turns their back on them and blames them and mistreats them and stigmatizes them into a loved one. And so it would mean an awful lot if the community would turn out for the people who gone through this. And it would go a long way to helping to turn that attitude in everybody.
Thank you, Micah.
Is there anyone else from the, John, go ahead.
John Sienkiewicz, 215 Bow Street. Micah, thank you. We just wanted to thank everybody on Borough for allowing us to have the giving trees. They have done tremendous. We've put out over 3,000 items between the 3 trees. So it's been a success so far.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Just state your name and address there, please.
Okay, my name's Lenore Reckman. I live at 100 Ordsburg Street. I have 2 complaints, and it's all on the same gentleman, my neighbor, George Geisinger. First, is there an ordinance about commercial vehicles parked on the street?
Just that they can't be running, a tractor trailer can't be running on the street.
Okay, because Mr. Geisinger has 2 big flatbeds right on Ordsburg Street this morning, because I had to take an early retirement because I need a bilateral total knee surgery. So it just happened today, I was looking out, a school bus had to try 3 times and they gave up, where they backed up and had to go all the way down Hunter Street because they couldn't get around to make the turn past those 2 flatbeds there. And the one he had running for about an hour last night, that the fumes came right into my home. I mentioned something to him, and he said, the fumes don't come into your home, but they do, you know? And another complaint I did have with him was in the fall, my son was cutting grass for him, and his dog, he belongs to Tamaqua Animal Rescue. His one dog bit my son, was not up to date on the shots. The dog, my son's leg got infected, took him to Miners. He needed the series of rabies shots. Those rabies shots for the 5 shots were $8,000. I have a $1,200 bill that was sent to collections now, because with me taking my early retirement, I can't pay it. So I contacted Officer Weaver. He said, let me talk to George. George's comment to Officer Weaver, to me, was, tell Lenore to go to hell. And I mean, there has to be something done about this. You know, even last night, somebody must have dropped off a dog at midnight, where then all the dogs were barking. He must have about 10 dogs in his backyard.
The dog that bit you said was your grandson?
My son.
Your son, I beg your pardon. Was he on a leash or was it running loose?
It ran loose.
Ran loose,
Yeah.
okay. I saw you taking notes, I mean,
I called Mr. Geiser and spoke to him about it. Trucks, we could just ticket them, that's not a big issue. We've been dealing with that with him for years. And as far as the dog biting her son in the building, it's more of a civil action at this point, because it's in the past, so the best thing would go to the magistrates and file a civil action for that money.
And I know really if I go to the magistrate, I'm gonna have to put more money out of my pocket, and George won't pay that either.
that is the risk, even if you win a judgment, that you won't be able to collect. I'm very sorry for all the circumstances. As far as the dogs, all the dogs, the rescue dogs coming to his home, is that a legal place to be able to house those, or?
I'll check the code enforcement. I think once you reach a certain number, it becomes an issue. I just don't know what that number is.
If you could please inquire, all right, and follow up appropriately if it is an issue, or have code enforcement follow up.
Lenore, I'm sorry, Lenore, are they there for a long time?
What, the dogs?
Yeah.
I have no idea. Even tonight, somebody dropped off another dog, and it was a Rottweiler. And I called my daughter, and I said to her, is your dog at home? Because it looked like their dog. And she said, no, our dog's here. So, like last night, one was dropped off 11 at night, and now tonight, another one was just dropped off.
So you're not sure if they have 10 or
And
like all the time?
they bark and bark and bark all night. That my son sleeps with earplugs, and I mean, it's.
That would be another police issue, is the constant barking.
Yeah, there's noise ordinance.
He does have a big cage in that backyard.
Okay.
we live right by there, so we've noticed an increase in the barking, especially at night. But in reference,
Meaning more vehicles parked there?
no,
Is that what you-
the barking.
Barking.
I beg your pardon, I think it said parking.
No. The first with the barking, we've noticed an increase in the barking.
Okay.
We have dogs of our own, and the minute they start carrying on, our dogs start carrying on. So it has been a slight little problem, and I'm a good block diagonally from them. But the other issue with the parking with George, we do have the ordinance, parking within 15 feet of a corner. The rollback is always up against the Valley Road corner.
Start being ticketed on a regular basis.
Okay.
Before you run it down.
Awesome.
I'll let all the guys know,
Thank you.
guys and girls.
Thank you. I'm sorry, obviously, for the circumstances. Whatever we can try to do to support, we'll do, but we don't have a tremendous amount of options.
I have one question too.
Sure.
For my physician, because of me having my 2 total knees done, I was awarded the handicap. Can we use that in front of my house as a handicap parking?
What you should do is apply for a handicap parking space. And there's, Kevin can probably get you an application for that as well, in addition to the ordinance you requested. And just fill out the paper. It sounds like you already have quite a bit of it already. And get that application back to us, and then we can act on it as soon as we get it back.
Okay.
All right. Anyone else from the floor wish to address council? I don't see any other hands, so we'll close the meeting to the floor. Solicitor's report. Reports of the borough.
Make a motion that we accept the report to the department of the borough as presented.
Motion by Mike, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ron to accept the various reports of the borough as written. Any questions or comments from council regarding the motion? Or from the floor? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Is there any unfinished business? See any? Bills and claims.
I reviewed the bills on Saturday. I had a couple of questions on them. They were minor, they were all answered by Amy.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we pay the bills.
All right, motion by Tom, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Micah to pay the bills and claims against the borough. Any questions or comments from council regarding the motion? Or from the floor? Not all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. New business. We have a motion on there about adopting an ordinance authorizing an $800,000 general obligation note. This is regarding the street lighting.
Mr. President, I'd make a motion to adopt the ordinance authorizing an $800,000 general obligation note for acquisition and improvements to the Tamaqua Borough street lighting system.
Motion by Dan, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Micah. To adopt an ordinance authorizing the $800,000 general obligation note for acquisition and improvements to the borough street lighting system. Are there any questions or comments from council regarding the motion? And sir, I didn't catch your name.
It's Brian Castellanzi. With Stevens and Lee, we put the paperwork together as we have in the past for the borough. Certainly any questions on that rest part of the ordinance, but it does what you guys have been planning. You accepted the commitment from the bank a couple months ago, and this really starts the formal process of putting all that in place. With this ordinance and the filing with the state has a 20-day window to review everything and get back to us. We'll start doing the closing documents. And right now, we're looking at a loan closing about March 1st.
Okay.
So you have the proceeds available and go from there. Did speak with the bank today, so they're on board with that timeline as well.
Have you ever had trouble selling our bonds? Buyers out there for market bonds?
For the ones that you have in place, no, they've been out in the market since we did that deal a couple of years ago. And obviously, this is a direct loan with the bank, so this is a little bit more straightforward. Still the same process with the state, all the things that we had to do the last time, but your fixed rate issue is still, still out there. And, I'd have to check. There's probably not a lot of trading on that, but there's been no issues with that.
Sometimes I wish we could buy our own.
Exactly. Exactly.
Any other questions or comments from council regarding the motion?
Under the question, Chairman, how many loans are open currently? And what is the potential of that?
I don't know the answer to that. Kevin?
I can give you that information. You mean like the outstanding balances?
Sure.
Oh, I can get you that information, but I don't have it tonight. We will, one bond in general.
Couple that I can recall off.
One small loan in the sewer fund.
Yeah, there's,
And the water authority has the
you have the fire truck, you have the.
well, they were all
They were all
refinanced
taken
and
They were
merged
all-
into one.
okay.
Yeah, the street light, fire truck, and, Alfred, Alfred Dam, they were refinanced and merged into one, issue. But I can get you that.
Super, thank you.
Yeah, what we show on the debt statement right now, what the state has, is with this 800,000, you're slightly over 2.5 million of direct debt, and then you have the guaranteed debt on some of those other projects, and that's almost 8.5 million on those.
Super, thank you, appreciate it.
Any other questions from the floor regarding the motion?
Is there a new rating?
Not for the bank loan, no.
Any other questions? If not, this is an ordinance, so we'll have a roll call vote, please.
Bowman?
Yes.
Carroll?
Yes.
Evans?
Yes.
Gursky? And Mace?
Yes.
Pass.
All right, is there any other new business? Don't see any. We did have a request for an executive session regarding property issues. Sorry? And real estate. Oh, real estate, I beg your pardon. All right, so real estate matters, but, you did. We do need a motion.
I'll make a motion if we go into executive session to discuss a real estate matter.
All right, motion by Mike, is there a second? Second by Ron. Procedural thing, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed?